Feeling tired when studying? Well, I always do as a medical student. However, drinking coffee does the trick of keeping me awake. But why coffee though? That's why I would like to explain and review a video by TED Talk on how caffeine, aka coffee, will keep us awake.
Coffee contains caffeine, and caffeine acts as a stimulant for the central nervous system in the human body. Caffeine blocks one of the body's key sleep-inducing molecules to keep us awake. That molecule is known as adenosine. Our body needs a constant supply of energy, which it gets by breaking down a high-energy molecule called ATP. In this process, adenosine, which is the backbone of ATP, is released. On the other hand, neurons in our brain have receptors perfectly fitted to adenosine. When adenosine attaches to these receptors, it activates a cascade of biochemical reactions that cause neurons to slow down the release of important brain signaling molecules that causes sleepiness. In this case, caffeine is an adenosine receptor antagonist. Caffeine blocks the adenosine receptor, which suppresses the process of slowing down our neuron. Caffeine and adenosine have similar molecular structure that caffeine can wedge into the adenosine receptors. So basically, adenosine inhibits our neurons, which causes sleepiness. Caffeine inhibits the inhibitor, which is the adenosine, so it stimulates you and you feel wide awake. This is the main idea about the video by TED Talk. What do I like about this video is that they explain the biochemical process in a very detailed manner on how the caffeine keeps us awake. They also use some interesting animations to keep the viewers engaged. The quality of the content delivery and the animations was amazing. In this very same video, the narrator also mentioned briefly about some side effects of the caffeine intake, which are increases heart rate and blood pressure, increases urination or diarrhea, and contribute to insomnia or anxiety. My only critique about this video is that the narrator didn't explain very detailed on how caffeine can contribute to those complications. Explaining the pathophysiology of each complications may help to spread some awareness on moderate caffeine intake to every extensive coffee drinker. These are the information that I've found. Once you take the first sip of coffee, the caffeine enters our blood from the stomach and small intestine and begins to stimulate our central nervous system. The receptor in the cell within our heart are stimulated by caffeine and increases our heart rate. Secondly, caffeine raises blood pressure by triggering our adrenal gland to secrete adrenaline. Adrenaline causes our heart to beat faster and our blood vessel to narrow, which leads to an increase in blood pressure. Thirdly, caffeine increases the blood flow to the kidney and reduces the absorption of water and sodium. This increases our body's urgency to pass liquid, and this diuretic effect contributes to dehydration. Fourthly, caffeine is a gastrointestinal stimulant, which means that it speeds up the peristalsis, which is the muscle contraction that moves food through the digestive tract. Therefore, it speeds up transit through the bowel, resulting in symptoms such as diarrhea and stomach cramping. Fifthly, caffeine can have a disruptive effect on our sleep. The most obvious effect of the stimulant is that it can make it hard for us to fall asleep. One study also found that caffeine can delay the timing of our body clock. This effect will reduce our total sleep time. And the last but not least, caffeine stimulates our flight or fight response, which is an automatic psychological reaction to an event that is perceived as stressful or frightening, and research has shown that this can make anxiety worse and can even trigger an anxiety attack. These are the information that I expected more from the TED Talk video. Nevertheless, it was a great video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, moderate is always better.